wanna be free with my people to prosper and hold it down. Don't you sit and wait, contemplating on a revolution. The time is now. I just wanna be free. 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 Can't you see? I just wanna be free.
Okay. Another episode of the Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast. I'm your host, Kamille Smith. Welcome. My gosh. Thank heavens. I thought I missed it. But we are late, but we're still here right on time. Because I'm going to be able to provide you guys with some great stuff, right? Boop, 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 boop. So I have a few announcements to make. So if you remember, I said I was at ACBN symposium last week, and y'all, if you know me, or if you've been paying attention to what's been happening this whole week, man, it's kind of a big deal. Right? So one, with my personality, I like to be kind of cool, kind of hip, kind of quirky. Oh, darn it. I didn't even wipe it before I decided I wanted to turn on. But I want to give some shout. Okay, first I want to give shout outs to ACBN for an amazing symposium last week. Big up yourself, big up yourself. Right? And this year we were talking about AI and just trying to prepare ourselves for AI and stuff, right? So also, at the same time at the symposium, Ryan and Chris Beth, amazing hosts and hosts, amazing hosts. They always try to encourage us to celebrate vendors that are there. So I decided to have a different type of shades, and I think they're cool. So big up cups and glasses with these cool ass glasses. It looks like I have some new glasses for the podcast, y'all. Right? So big up them. Also I want to give a shout out to who was there? Edwina was there. She held it down for the morning conversation. Andrew Bromfield had the afternoon conversation where we were talking about AI. Amazing. High level, go high level was there. And listen. If y'all know me, I don't have the best luck. But when I have the best luck, I have to show uno this thing, So, ooh, OMG. I actually won a raffle with I think it's Go Level High. Tomato, but I won an iPad. And I literally won it the very last second. Literally, Ryan was like, "Oh, whoever didn't get into the raffle, you better get into the raffle." And I was like, "Wait, hold on a minute, please let me go through." And I was able to literally the very last second get this prize. So big up myself for winning an iPad. However, if you also know me, you also know I actually don't like I am team Android. So I actually don't want the iPad. I am not giving it away for free. No way, no. So if you want to buy the iPad off me, and I would say this would be more beneficial if you're local, I would say contact me. Hold on, let me see. Contact me at. So honestly, I'm not joking. I'm going to give away this iPad. I'm not giving it away. I'm selling it. I saw how much it's worth, and I'm willing to give a reasonable price for it. So holler at me. Hello, hello, hello. Holler at me if you want to buy it, and I'll be able to provide the information so we can, be able to get this iPad and stuff, right? So I'm honestly, the symposium was wicked. It was live, like we were talking about AI, talking about marketing. So I even wrote in my notes about the ones that I want to be familiar with. What's the other thing that I want to be familiar with? I wrote it down. Did I write it in my notes or did I write it down? I probably wrote it in my notes, but it's really beneficial to, utilize AI in your business. I'm not going to say use it to the fullest, but incorporate AI into your business and things. And even the fire chat. I'm going to say fire chat cuz I don't remember the name right. Fire chat was live. The vendors were amazing. The food was it was all right. I actually made it for breakfast, so it was kudos to me. Bloop 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 bloop. Food was good. Um, Connections were great. I was able to be a facilitator again. So I'm actually really happy. I'm always down to support ACBN and all that great stuff. So for anyone that did reach, tell me how you felt. Tell me how you felt. Definitely want to see more folks in the future and all that good stuff. So please, please come true. And again, and again. Yeah. Um, I have an iPad. I'm willing to sell it for a good amount. So come true if you want. If you want an iPad, do 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 do. But give me 1 second. This episode. I was trying to decide whether I was going to talk about taxes this week or next week during um Easter long Easter long weekend. I've decided to talk about it this week. Um Wait, hold on. So, and I have to give a shout out to this lady that I was doing their taxes. Big up Mrs. Rowe. I'll say it like that. I don't want to say her whole name, but she's a personal trainer and she gave me an idea and I said, "Hey, if it's not this week, it will be next week. You're my inspiration to talk about this and everything." So give her a shout out. I told her to Google this word. This title is basically for her. So yeah, big up herself. But one moment, I'm just gonna have a mini commercial break. Okay, guys. All right.
Don't let the CRA take more than they should. Here are 5 tax mistakes you can't afford to make. Don't fall into these common traps that could cost you big. Many forget to claim deductions like home office expenses or medical costs. Late filing means penalties. Mark your calendar and file early. Side hustle money still counts. Report it to avoid trouble later. Ensure you're eligible for the credits you claim. Keep all tax records for at least 6 years. Digital organization makes life easier. Avoid these mistakes and file with confidence. Need help? Email FitnanceIQ services for our questionnaire today.
Boom, bam, bam. And just like that, folks. And just like that. Um, so how do I want to set this off? This is probably going to be mostly for the self-employed folks. However, I've been seeing articles for this whole entire month and I'm like, So I really want to have a breakdown like for self-employed folks, for my single folks, them, for the folks that are couples, and then also for y'all that are in gig workers. This is for you. Okay. Okay. So hold on. Let me. So okay. Ideally, first things first. Let me take off this. So if you're double checking what I meant about paddle boat your way, ideally, I want us to have like, instead of being stressed, because most of the time when I'm like dealing with people, I've seen people stress out about how much they're paying back, how much they're receiving, can they get as many credits as possible, and sometimes there's nothing I can do because we weren't able to plan accordingly in 2025, right? But now that we're in 2026 and you're seeing all the aspects that come into play with taxes, yeah, right now is the best time to actually. So I'll say this, and this is something that I've been noticing for the most part, is I am feeling so sorry for the seniors because you guys are getting screwed the most. I feel like most of you guys, well, first of all, most of you normally were used to filing it paper by paper, right? I still had to call my work mom from a previous employer and see how she's doing because golly, she hasn't had the opportunity to she's going to be having to use a computer to file her taxes, right? And I know she's going to hate it. So I really got to message her today. But also I've realized that there's two options. Actually, this is for the seniors as well. You can take away this advice that I'm going to give. But I mean, unless you're taking off the income tax before, like throughout the year, you're going to be owing back at the end of the day. So for my self-employed folks, for my folks that have high earners, that are high earners that always are going to be paying back, this episode is for you. Okay. Okay. So ideally, again, the paddle. Hold on. I gotta type the. I'm trying to be organized, y'all. I'm trying to give you guys like segments at a time. So bear with me. I was having we're having a slow day today. Because I was trying to finish up something. But I do want to make sure that I give you guys every type of information I want to provide to you, okay? So, but I like the banners. I like the banners. See if I could get the banner up here. Let me double check. Bear with me. All right. So you're probably wondering what's this paddle boat concept. So ideally, I want you to understand the concept of, instead of, you're not sprinting for your financial peace or financial future, but you're paddling, right? So you're taking small, consistent efforts, controlled movements. You know, I haven't paddled in a while. Actually, have I paddled? I don't think I have paddled. Oh no, that's a lie. That's a lie. I have. It's just I haven't done it in a while, right? But you want to you want to have control. I was gonna say the wrong word. Controlled movement, and you don't want to be overwhelmed, basically, right? So think of it this way: every time you get paid, you're gonna paddle into a little into forward, right? Every time, and this is for the self-employed folks especially, I want you to take a consideration. So Mrs. Row, this is why I said the paddle. This is why it's an inspiration for her, right? Um, you have different ways that you could do this. Remember, I talked about the profit first method, and I normally put 20% of taxes away for this. I want you to think of it this way. I'm not going to say put the whole 20%, but I think I'm going to give a leeway and have at least 15 to 25%. Cuz like ideally, you know, you could think of it this way. You could put that money away in a HST account, savings account. And that was what I usually told you guys. But I spoke to this lady, right? She's like, yeah, but instead of like you could have that HST account, but then every time I have like $1,000, I would just do installments to CRA. And I was like, yo, I never thought about that. Like wrong, wrong, wrong. Let me rephrase that. So there is a time, not there's a time. So I've acknowledged whenever someone owes more than $3,000, CRA gives you that installment option where you can pay it quarterly. So you could pay it in, and let me try to remember because I showed someone this yesterday and I don't want to forget, right? CRA installment dates. So I know the first one is March 15th, right? So that's the first one. March 15th is which just passed. So if you had to do this before, yeah, call it, right? The next one is June 15th. So that's technically the first installment for, especially if you do your taxes by April 30th. April 30th. The first installment would be June 15th, September 15th, December 15th, and so on and so forth. As long as you have two things. You have either a CRA account or you get paper, they will send you this installment agreement. So this is for the folks that normally get it once they've paid more than $3,000, right? She is saying instead of even having that option, like before it even comes to the point where CRA is telling you to put it in, you're putting it in already. And I think this is really ideal for folks that have you guys know you're going to owe, especially if you're self-employed. If you're self-employed, you got to do it, right? Oh, I get some comments. Hello, strange thing. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Sorry, when I see strange things or Stranger Things, I just think of that song. However, you want to be mindful about that because, and this is why I'm saying 15 to 25%, right? So let's say you made, golly, I have my calculator. So say you made, OMG. I'm just going to open up again. I don't know. My computer's doing something weird where it's not showing me the whole screen. So I'm just going to make boom, there. So, okay. So say you made 50,000 in self-employed. This is before tax and stuff, right? I love Stranger Things as well. I became addicted to it as well. Actually, hold on. Sorry. All right. So let's say you made $50,000. So ideally, and I'm gonna give an example. So you made $50,000, right? But once you've done your expenses, it comes down to about 26, 27. There's a high probability that you're gonna be owing back an amount. I'll say approximately. Do not take my words for it because it deciphers with different things. Say it's $26,000 to $27,000. You may be owing back at least $2,000, right? But say, oh, that's too high. Yeah, that's way too high. So I was 50,000. Nah, you would save 12,500. No, that's too much. That's too much. That's too much. So 50 times 15. So ideally, do you want to go based on the gross or do you want to go based on the net? So I'm going to say let's go based on we'll go based on the net actually, because each time you make every time you make $50,000, 7,500 is going to go towards HST, right? So boom. So we either get the option of saving 7,500 in a HST savings account, or So that's 15%, or we're going to save 12,500. Here, hear me out. Hear me out. Someone's going to be like, Cam, that is unrealistic. There's no way I'm going to save that money when I could be using it for other things. Hear me out. Hear me out. If you're making $50,000 and you're charging HST, your best bet is put that money aside. All right? It's your best bet to put that money aside because there's certain things you're going to be covering. You're going to be covering your income tax and potential CPP, because while you're self-employed, you're going to be owing back that, right? If you were an employee, the employer is going to be covering the CPP and you cover half of it. But when you're self-employed, you're covering the full ting region. So you wanna take care of all of that? No, sir. Don't do that. Don't do that. So ideally, it's better to actually save that amount, put it in an HST, and so say you made $50,000 gross. 12,500, which is 25%, you're setting that aside. I'm not going to say put the whole 12,500 in the installments that I was mentioning. However, I would say each quarter, put a certain amount into that. But also, because especially if you have it in a savings account, you get some coins and things. So you're going to get some coins from that for saving, and then you're also going to put that into installment, and it lowers your taxable it lowers your balance owing, or giving you a higher chance of getting a refund. I think this is the best way to do it because, one, this reduces stress, this builds discipline, and then also you're technically paying yourself and preparing at the same time, right? Who doesn't want to do that? I would say this: if you're not comfortable with the 25%, so I'm just saying, if $50,000 gross and you're not comfortable with saving 12,500, so there's another option. We could think about 20%. That's 10,000. Not comfortable with that? Cool. We could bring it back down to 7,500, right? I think the 15-20 range is ideal. And I'm going to say it this way. Think about it this way. And I actually told someone this the other day, like someone that was like, "Oh, it's more beneficial when you have installments because you're more likely to get a refund later on." And that's just because it's in the segment of like your income tax and your other deductions. Hold on, let me double check. Because I actually gave someone the best analogy the other day, and I was like, whoa, whoa. I'm so proud of myself because I was able to give you the analogy that made sense, and it made sense to them because they were thinking that they're being double taxed when it comes to taking money out of their Rift. And I mean, yes and no, but you're not being taxed because whatever tax that it has come out of the when removing the money that you had to pull out from a RSP or a RIF, they do income tax. But that calculation comes back to you after you've done all your tax payables. So then it offsets however much you paid in income tax to the payable that you have. And I remember, if you guys remember last year, I tried to give you an analogy like, oh, if it's this much before your margin tax rate, then you'll know whether you're going to be owing back or not, right? But I'm not doing that today. I'm simply saying whatever income tax or whatever total payables you've been able to acknowledge before your income tax has been deducted, or even the installments. So there's certain things that will affect it. I just put it down. So so the total credit. So your total income tax deducted is part of that total credit. Your tax paid by installments is part of that aspect. Your refund of investment tax credit, that's something that's there. Canada's worker benefit, that's part of it. Whether you've done CPP overpayment, EI overpayment, and I'm gonna tell you this. I promise not to expose anyone's stories because that's not what I do, but this is a learning experience for everyone. Um it is your responsibility to make sure every information that you provide is correct. If you knew you were a student and you did not disclose your tuition and education certificate, and then you get reassessed, baby, that is not on me. Because if you did not tell me that you were a student, I would not know. Or another aspect, if you did not tell me that you had a disability, because there are some people that don't have a visual disability, I am not going to know. This is why I have a questionnaire. And speaking of my questionnaire, I would love for my folks that haven't spoke to me yet to fill out the questionnaire so we can get things rolling. It is about that time. Hold on, let me. Oh shucks, you guys, you know me. I love to do a poll. I'm going to do the poll just now, but let me just show you guys the um the questionnaire that you guys should be filling out already, right? Ooh, don't do that. I can't get it from there. Hold on. Oh, let's see if I could do it. There we go. So, for the folks that haven't contacted me yet, I beg, please, and I'm going to pin this. Fill out the questionnaire, please. And I'm talking to you. Yes, you. I know you've been seeing my messages. I know you saw my email about doing the questionnaire. Submit the questionnaire, please, and thank you. Right? So, this is the questionnaire. Submit your questionnaire. This, in order for me to give you all the information, I need this, right? Ooh, and before I get into anything else with this, I do have some articles. So I am going to try my best to read these articles, but I just wanted to give you guys a snippet of that part. Actually, mm, actually no. I will, let's go to the article. So which is the first article that I that I want to mention? Uno momento. Okay, so this is for my folks that are making me upset, but I also want to do the poll. So 2 seconds. Actually, I'm going to do a commercial break, quick commercial break, so I could actually do this poll. Okay, so give me a second. Next. Okay, 1 second. Sorry. You know, sometimes it's hard doing this thing by yourself, you know.
Imagine turning financial chaos into calm. Meet Alex. Alex is a young professional buried in bills and receipts. They're overwhelmed, unsure where to start. But then, light bulb moment, Alex discovers FitnanceIQ. With just a few clicks, Alex is setting up a personalized budget thanks to FitnanceIQ's user-friendly tools. It's like having a financial coach right at their fingertips. Fast forward a few weeks, and Alex is breezing through bill payments, watching their savings grow, and even planning for the future. No more stress, no more chaos, just simple steps leading to big results. Alex now shops with confidence, knowing every dollar's accounted for. FitnanceIQ didn't just help organize Alex's finances, it gave them peace of mind. Ready to take control of your finances? Visit FitnanceIQ today and start your journey to financial freedom. FitnanceIQ. Simple steps, big results.
I haven't written them all. I'm kind of slow, but I want to. Okay, so with anyone that's been listening so far, I want you to be honest. How do you handle your taxes as a self-employed person? Do you plan ahead? Do you just wing it? Um, do you stress every year? Or do you just avoid thinking about it? And I hope most of you guys don't have that post. So help me, Jah. Right? I am praying that you guys don't have it like that, right? But yeah, fill out the poll. I see there's people on. Big up everyone that's on the live and watching the replay. Fill up the poll or leave comments. Don't worry, you guys can leave comments and everything, right? Let's see. Ooh, gosh, the articles. Okay, so article number 1. I'm trying not to cuss out anyone because, you know, I understand times are rough. People are delaying, but I'm actually surprised at how many people I've actually done their taxes. Like I said, I've been doing at least 10 to 20 taxes. Hadi, right? So let me share this article at least with you guys. Shucks. Okay, so many Canadians are delaying on filing their taxes over confusion with recent changes. Oh, that's the reason? Okay. Okay, that is understandable. Oh, I had to move this from here. Why is it like this? Oh, it's over there. That's what I'm trying to hide. Okay. Really thought I was hiding. Okay. So it seems that there's confusions that's going on, right? So put it this way, April 30th. Please do not wait until April 30th. Honestly, if you message me, what's the last week? If you message me the last week, I'm actually going to charge you extra because not only am I going to send an email out this weekend, but I'm actually going to give 2 more reminders before April. I'll say April 25th. Anyone that messages me after April 25th, I'm charging you extra because you guys are playing with me and you think you could take me for fool. Right? First of all, bonfire on this place. I'm not gonna say it, but you're not gonna get the proper service that you need if you go through them, but I digress. So 29% of Canadians are feeling confused about what they're supposed to claim, and 28% are planning to delay filing as a result. That is this recent? I'm just gonna make sure. Oh, that makes sense. Wow. This is old, but I feel like this is going to be relatable. I really truly saw this. I did see this article, but this is very interesting. This is not the one that I saw, right? I gotta stop sharing that. So I'm not sure where that article is that I seen and people were delaying. Actually, I do know where it is. I sent it to a friend. Let me look upon that link and then I'll read it off there. I have no problem reading it off like that. Or was it the group? Sorry, my bad, guys. I thought I remembered this article. I thought I clicked on the right article. I do have other articles, but I really want to see this article or talk about it a little bit. But I don't see it right now. So I'm going to go to I'm going to switch to the other article in play, right? Golly, you would think this happens at each and every time, right? So, okay. Is it this one? So let me put them all together. Okay. So there's this one. Okay, I could show you guys this one. This one I was looking at. I don't want to scare anyone, but CRA is ready to crack down on gig workers since it's going viral this tax season. And here's what you need to know. Okay, so big up Dale Jackson. Um, again, okay, I want to put it this way. There is a significant amount of Uber drivers. I need the Uber drivers to take a course before, because it's kind of wild that you're coming in with just showing your phone, say, "Oh yeah, I did Uber," and not wanting to write down your expenses. The amount of people that I've mentioned, what was the overall mileage that you did in 2025, and have no idea what I'm talking about, no idea how much gas they used throughout the year, doesn't know whether they had car repairs or maintenance, um just doesn't have the information. And the biggest one that I would say is that you, especially if you're driving for a long period of time, and this is for the folks that have at least, if you made $10,000 to $30,000 in Uber Eats, it's more likely you ate while you were doing this. So I would say see if you're blinking receipts, or have a form. I can't stress the amount of times that I need to remind folks to keep your records for, like, especially if you're Uber, right? And this goes to the contractors and the consultants, the handy people, and all the freelancers. You you ha- as soon as you decide to have a side hustle, become an entrepreneur, like on the side, a business owner, any of those things, it is your responsibility to provide the tax specialist, the tax accountant, the accountant, whoever you're going to have doing your taxes, the proper information. No, do not come to me throwing your bag of receipts to me, expecting me to calculate that at that point. You must some mud. No, I need you to, throughout the year, plan it. I praise the folks that are organized and give it to me at all at once, and not expecting me to calculate it at that same second. Nah, 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 nah. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Okay. Um, and I stress it because you're going to pay extra the longer, the more disorganized you are, the more money you're actually going to pay. And then you're going to get frustrated and thinking that I'm ripping you off, when I'm actually not. It's your responsibility to know how much money you made, how much expenses you had. And I would say for the folks that are at least making 30K or more, to do a quarterly assessment of your income and expenses, so you have a better understanding. Okay? Like, I know I'm sounds like I'm being harsh and stuff, but I'm really not. I'm really not being harsh. I'm just like trying to tell you guys to prepare for that time. And especially because CRA is going to crack down on gig workers, like drivers, contractors and stuff. I Your best bet is to get your shit together before you even come to do your taxes, right? So one thing is filing as a business. If you're not incorporated, your self-employed income is going onto your personal tax. So that's a T2125. We've talked about this many times. If you don't remember, it's cool. You'll be able to watch another episode that I've mentioned this, right? So the T2125 is a statement of business or personal activities. So I want you to be able to generate or have that information provided, whether it's income on a T4A um, from like a different type of place, or like a placement that you were at, right? Again, most gig workers don't receive T4s. They receive the T4A slip. Some gig earners, if you earn $3,000 over 4 consecutive calendar quarters, you most likely are going to want to get a GST HST registration number. Anyone that's paying gig income over 3,500 requires contribution to the CPP or Quebec pension plan based on the total incomes. Remember how I mentioned that earlier, that having that 15 to 25% is able to cover your taxable income or your CBP contribution. Boom, bam, bam. So some tax perks for gig workers, and I hope they don't say it. Okay. Employment insurance is optional, could include benefits such as wow, I can never say this word, so you guys are just gonna read it right there. So okay. There's also tax credits that are available to lower your tax bill. I like to say taxable income, but I like tax bill as well. And you do have until June 15th to file your taxes. However, if you owe, you still want to do it by April 15th because they are going to charge you, as you can see. Again, there's monthly or quarterly payments, installments you can set up with CRA to avoid large tax bills. The home office deductions, I'm going to say this word for word so people have a better understanding. The CRA approved a method for calculating home office expense permits a portion of home utilities, including electricity, heat, water, insurance, property tax, mortgage interest, and repairs and maintenance to be deducted from taxable income. Me personally, putting the mortgage interest and property tax might have them audit you or review your thing, especially if your mortgage interest is a high amount, right? That's just my personal opinion. I mean, we're reading it word for word, but you want to be mindful with that too, right? But it is going to be a percentage. So the portion is based on the square footage of the home office in relation to the total square footage of the home. For example, the office space is 1/5 of the home, 20% of the eligible household expenses can be deducted from the business income. That being said, there's it's not likely that it's going to be more than 1/5 of the home, right? Your home office should never be 50%. And if you're trying to do that, Regin, you're gonna get audited and things. So this is why they're doing the crackdown, right? So be mindful about that. Uber drivers, this is for you. Vehicle deductions, same way as the home office expenses. Canadians who use their own vehicles to generate income can deduct the work-related portion of costs. Those expenses include repairs and maintenance, vehicle insurance, license fees. We don't have that anymore in Ontario, at least from far what I know, unless it's like a different license fee. That does not include parking tickets, fuel, and lease or depreciation if you own the car. All right. So this does not include folks that finance their car. It's essential that people claiming vehicle expense document their usage and expenses. You need to be able to claim these things that you've made, right? If your appointment, whoa, that's not appointment. Apportionment of your vehicle expenses is 60%, for example, you need to be able to support that. That includes individual entries and for each business trip, the date, destination, purpose, distance in kilometers, and maintenance costs for the entire year. This is why whenever someone tries to tell me that they use their car 90% for business, I don't believe them. It's not likely, and they're gonna want all this information, right? What else? Okay, so that's it for that one. Um, I mean, again, I'm trying to show this to you so you have a better understanding and you're not stressing throughout the year or stressing during the tax season. As I said before, I have a business expense template. You are more than welcome. Actually, I don't know. I mean, if I'm doing business with you, like if I'm doing your taxes, cool. I will provide you with the business expense template. We might have to put a deposit on people that does that, because last year someone gypped me with me providing information to them and they ghosted me. So you know who you are. Congratulations, you played me, but you played yourself because that shit's never happening, and it just you just disregard everyone. Everyone else is not going to get the same treatment. So congratulations, you hurt others by being selfish. All right. So we have that one. And this one, this article, I want, actually no, I'll do another one for the self-employed individuals, but after I have to represent for us single folks. I have to represent because sometimes I feel like we do get gypped and people don't believe that, but yeah, we do. We get gypped too, y'all. Golly. Okay, so oops, it's not showing. So strategizing for self-employed, protecting income and maximizing returns. Right? Again, this is me saying this so you have a better understanding. Again, remember, sole proprietorship means you're oh, sorry, you're unincorporated. So, and I need my Canadian folks to stop getting mixed up with American stuff like lingo. LLC, we don't say LLC here. It's incorporated. That's what we normally say. So if you are filing a T2, an incorporated business, this doesn't relate to you. But if you're self-employed or you have a partnership, this is what is for you, especially if you're a freelancer and all that good stuff, right? Blub, 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 blub. Oh. Ooh, if you're gonna make more than 30K, like I mentioned before, you're gonna have to put that 13%, right? And this is why we're talking about the installments. If you actually just have the 15% to 25% put away, it will be more ideal, and then you're able to submit it to the installments. But wait, I want you guys to remember that HST savings account that you're putting, it's not only for your personal tax, but it's also for your HST or GST filing as well. So that's why putting away 15 to 25 could be ideal, especially depending on how much you make with HST. But remember, you can offset with your expenses. That's why it's so important to keep your receipts and keep records of that. One thing it's saying is tax reporting tips and mistakes to avoid. At times, some sole proprietorships on report their business income and expenses on their personal. Boom. You must report the gross and net on line 13,500 or 14,300 on the return. And if they operate more than one distinct business activity, they must complete a separate T2125. So for the folks that love to have 3 different business, be mindful about that, especially if your business doesn't relate with the other business. So example, if you're Uber Eats driver, and a content creator, those are 2 separate T2125s. You can't mix them together because guess what? Expenses that you had between Uber Eats or Uber driver is going to be totally different from a content creator. I wouldn't expect I would have raised a flag if I saw advertising expense on a Uber Eats delivery. So separate them, especially because they want to know which different industry codes that you're gonna have. And I probably have another episode with showing what the T2125. Actually, no, I've showed you guys so many times what that looks like, right? So let's go back to the old ones now. Let's go back to the old ones, right? What else? Common mistake self-employed people make is claiming home office expense for a space that isn't their main place of work or is usually used personally. Like I showed you, the CRA is going to crack down on that. Please be mindful. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Mm, mm. So be mindful about that. Okay. Okay. What else? Oh, and I'm sorry, I wasn't able to send everyone the link. So if you're coming in late, no worries. I do still appreciate y'all coming through and things. This is why I need a VA, which I kind of do, guys. Darn it, I shouldn't have said it out loud. Maybe you guys didn't hear me, so I'm not gonna mention it again. But if you heard me, congratulations. Also, again, guys, I'm selling an iPad. I'm not giving it away. As much as I love my friends and family, I'm not giving it away. I'm sorry. I'm selling this bad boy. Okay, okay. What else? Sorry, I got distracted. So yeah, be mindful about the claiming the home office expenses. Um, correcting mistakes on your return. CRA does assess you or reassess you if they think some things are a little wonky and stuff. So be mindful about that. Just don't pull a fast one, fam. That's why I don't like cooking the books. Don't ask me if I'm a chef. I'm a chef in the kitchen, not on in your tax returns. Okay. So if I know that something is a certain way, I like to be stick to the books. I'm not a chef unless it's being a chef in the kitchen. All right. So don't ask me to lie, please, because my name's on that. And if that comes back to me, oof, I'm going to be cheesed. Right. But it's okay. I'm going to catch. Oh, no. That one. But if you lied to me and I didn't know, congratulations. But the minute I know, I have to put the proper information. Right. So these are just some things. So this one is going to be for my single versus couple. Doom doom doom. Who has the edge during the tax season? Doom doom doom. I will say this. For the folks that I envy is a strong word. I am jealous of the seniors that are able to do pension splitting. And like I said the other day, I am very shocked. I'm very shocked at how many women are being very mean while I'm doing their taxes and stuff. Like they don't want to, oh, I don't want to, what's the word? I don't want to do pension splitting with him. I paid all these taxes. Why I gotta split the money with him? That's wild. Then you shouldn't have got married in the first place. That's how I feel. If you don't want to strategize with your significant other, why are y'all even together? That's just me. That's just me, right? So boom. Oh, is it not gonna show? I think it's gonna show. It's gonna show. So who has a edge? Well, who has the edge during the tax season? Okay, I'll tell you this: single people don't get shit. Okay, or single and childless folks don't get ish. So yes, we all know that death and taxes, it can't avoid them, right? Whether you're in a relationship or not. But as of right now, with the tax filing deadline being April 30th, they just want to know whether it's beneficial or not to be single or in a couple. So it says the CRA needs to know someone's relationship status because there's a number of income tested benefits that are based on the family income, not just an individual income. And I know some people are like, "Oh, well, I don't want to add my spouse or my what do I call them?" Remember, I said I got my foot in my mouth when someone was common law, and I was like, your lover's spouse. Ah, golly. So the person you live with, that you're intimate with, I'll say it like that. Common law. Um, some people don't like to have them together because they feel like they're not going to benefit from the HST credits, the grocery benefit credits. But shame on you, and I'm gonna say it. This is my personal opinion. If combined income is more than 100K, shame on you for wanting to separate it and trying to get benefits when there's people that are actually struggling. Trust me, I seen literally people break down in front of me crying. The people that are actually struggling and stuff, right? But whatever, neither here or there, right? So most common benefits is now it's called the grocery and essential benefits. Used to be HSC or the Ontario Trillium benefit. Some people want to be separate. They want to be considered single so they can still get that amount when then stay single. This is me. Can spouses file joint taxes? Technically speaking, they're filed separately, but they're combined. And when I mean like that, so say that your spouse or your significant other doesn't want to do their taxes together at the same time, I still need to know that their net income, so I'm able to decipher like the benefits that you're getting, right? Um, and this is a question I get a lot, and I hope everyone that's listening and clicking on the poll listens to this very carefully. What defines a common law relationship in Canada tax wise is your common law if you live with someone in a relationship for 12 months or you live together in a relationship with a child. I know there's so many people that want to be considered single so they can get a higher amount in your CCB child care benefits. Shame on you. If you are in a relationship, married, in a relationship, have a child, you guys live together, you're making six figures. I'll say the ones making six figures, and you want to show that you are single so you can get a higher percentage. I hope you buck your toe. Because for the single moms, that like actually don't have any other income because they don't have dual income, shame on you. And I said what I said, okay? But hey, for the folks that are common law and married, it's actually you guys are treated the same. I was gonna say a wild sentence and I'm not gonna say it. But for the folks that aren't married and eventually when you guys have pension, I think it's still very beneficial to be together because instead of the government getting back that money, your significant other can get that money back. So stop pretending like you're single. File together, right? What other advantages do couples have? I think it's ideal for retired folks. They have the additional tax benefit. You get to split, essentially move up to 50% of your eligible pension income to a spouse or common law. Tax saving associated with pension splitting can be quite significant. I absolutely love this. Every time I see it and every time I notice that someone's like, "Ooh, what's the point of doing this?" I'm like, someone gets a better opportunity than the other, but when you combine your income to like combine your refund or balance owing together, you'll see that it works out. And like I said, I'm doing strategies where I'm trying to get the best opportunity for everyone. So whether it's like if someone's making more and there's a lot of medical expenses or there's a lot of donations, I'm going to split it accordingly so everyone wins. Right? And I want to I think this is the main thing when it comes to tax strategy or tax planning that we all essentially should try to learn, right? So and this actually works more when there's like someone that earns low income. So anyone that's together with someone right now, stay with them. Stay with them until they're 60, 70 and everything. And everything will be all right. Right? Oh, also if there's someone that's not working, actually this is the only time it benefits non-retired folks. If someone is not working or someone is low income, you can actually put their basic personal amount on your tax return and get a credit. Boom. And disability as well, and also uh, caregiving amounts. So you can see it here. So this is really beneficial. And it, you know what? At the end of the day, it's all about tax planning when it comes to being in a couple, like being a couple and stuff. I tell you, here's how single people get to benefit. And I'm not saying it all because I want to be mindful of the time. For credits like the Canada Child Care, wow, Canada Child Benefit. I thought it was CCB and Canada Groceries and Essential Benefits. Couples may actually be at a disadvantage. Whatever. These credits may increase or decrease depending on adjusted family income. If you become common law with someone with a good income, that could substantially reduce your entitlements. However, and I want to say this, y'all, the more money you make, the less dependency you need from the government, is what I'm always going to say. So I want you guys to think of it that way. You want to strive to not depend on the government as much. I'm going to say it like that, hands down, right? So those credits may increase, decrease, as I said. These are also some credits designed to give single parents a leg up. So, it's not really for this childless people there. It's for the single parents. Cool. Um Ooh, and the first time home buyer rebate, you can split or either decide which partner is going to benefit from that. I am not going to talk about this $50,000 because ugh, I've been hearing what you guys have been trying to do. Um Please don't pull a fast one on the government. They will catch you eventually, right? So at the end of the day, who gets the edge during tax filing season? There's no clear answer. It depends on the benefits you're claiming. So if your relationship status change, the CRA wants if your relationship status does change, the CRA wants to know. If you want to be so for the single people out there, stay single if you want all these benefits, or unless you want a significant other where you get dual income, times won't be that hard as much. Then common law, marriage, all that good stuff. And also for the folks that are divorced, separated, you are treated like you're single or widowed, and my condolences. Actually, the folks that get screwed over the most are the widow ones, especially after they've been doing pension splitting for so much times. It hurts. It actually hurts when I see what happens. But however, if we go back full circle to this strategy that I mentioned before, the 15-25% rule, you actually will have an upper hand on that if you do it like that, right? So that's just a strategy that I want you to be mindful about. And let's see, there's that 15%. I mean, if you want to do the 25%, by all means, so you'll be guaranteed a refund, but I also want you guys to think of it this way. Oh, yeah. I want you to think about it this way. That money, that extra money that you put into the government and you're going to receive a refund, that is money that you could have put into investments and actually skyrocket your money, you know? So I want you guys to think of it that way. You don't have to think of like every strategy that we have can work for different folks. Um so don't think like this one is the win for everyone. It could be a win for you, it could be a win for someone else, but another strategy, like instead of doing 25%, you could do 15% and you'll still win at the end of the day, right? So I want you guys to think about it like that. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Okay. Hold on a second. I want to make sure. Yeah, I talked about being single or being a couple, right? So that then we're able to understand that. But I also want to finish it off with this. Darn it. That's not the one. That isn't the one. Let's see. Ooh, okay. How this changes everything. I want you to consider this. I want you to put this into consideration, okay? Last things last. How are you able to implement this or execute on this? Have a separate savings account. What? Have a separate savings account. Actually, I should put that part. Sorry. I'm pretty sure you guys will care about this. First things first. I was about to say. Have a separate savings account, whether it's for your HST, for your whether you call it HST, installments. Yo, just have that separate, right? We talked about this so many times, especially if you're self-employed. Have a separate savings account. There you have your personal savings account. Also have a separate business account. I will drag anyone that doesn't separate their stuff. I kid you not. I'm not playing with you guys. I need you guys to have your stuff organized. This is why I'm giving you the strategy, especially my self-employed folks, so you can organize and be less stressed. Now you're going to be prepared and everything, right? Have a separate business checking account. Have a separate savings account for your business. This is for the HST, right? Automate automatically transfer the money to your savings. Um, However, I can't automatically like a certain amount because my income fluctuates. Um, I have like a tracker of how much money is going to be going into the savings account. So each time, or like I'll say each week, I'll transfer the money in. I can't even say each week because temptations. Temptations is something, So every time, like the end of the day, or every other day, I'll transfer that money into the savings account, right? This is the 20%. I decided to do 20%. So most likely what I will do with this lovely Eureka thing that I learned is out of the 20% of that money, 15% will be going into my installments. I'm gonna do it and then I'm gonna tell you guys how it worked. All right. So remind me next year, 2027, on what? I guess hold on, let me see. Let's see what next year is going to be like the last day. So this is 2027, March. So yeah, so I should have known that, huh? March 27th, 2027. We go have this conversation again. And I'm going to tell you how it went because I'm going to do it. So 20% of my income, my business income, goes into a savings account, right? I'm going to put a percentage. I think putting 15% of that money into an installment for my personal tax is going to be ideal. And then the rest is going to go for the HST because obviously I have to pay HST. So I think doing the 15.5, I think that would be ideal. And as long as I'm consistent with this, I should be good. Right? So this is what I'm trying to show you folks. I'm trying to show you folks something. I kid you not. As I said, Mrs. Rowe, thank you. Thank you for this inspiration. Wow. I can't believe this happened. And also, guys, I haven't talked about it in a very long time, but I'm going to just do a call quick. Where is it? This one.
Your money story begins with your mindset. Each day, choose words that empower you. I attract wealth with confidence and clarity. I manage my finances with wisdom. I deserve abundance in every area of life. With every affirmation, you shift closer to the future you desire. Financial affirmation cards. Shift your money mindset today.
Exactly. I haven't talked about the financial affirmation cards in a while, but please, they are still there. Get your financial affirmation cards so you will have a healthier relationship with money. Because when you're thinking positivity will happen as well. And what's the last thing I had to say? Ideally, what I want from this episode is that instead of scrambling around, getting stressed throughout the year and not knowing how you're going to pay these things, just when you have the separate savings account, whether it's 500 you see in there, $1,000 you see in there, make that installment payment. Simple as that. And if you're asking me how to do that, hold on. That part I can show you. Paying installments to CRA. Boom. I looked at it the other day and I'll show you guys that. And that will be like the last thing I do. This will make it easier. But it should actually, I'm going to show you guys it, but I am going to start this ASAP Rocky. So I'm definitely going to show you throughout the year also how to do it. So options to pay online, you go here. So then you just pretend like it's a payee, right? I did see it. I literally showed someone this yesterday. Ways to pay. So you can do it like so. Use your payments you can and cannot. Okay, so I would say go into your payee. I had to type in CRA and then do this one. Okay. However, if you're owing right now from 2024, make sure you submit this one first before you do this game plan. Okay. I believe this one is for owing if it's like this year. So this one's for last year, this one's for this year, and this is for installments. Right? Please make sure you select the right one because, baby, they'll catch you, eh? They'll definitely catch you. Ooh, also, the underused housing tax. Please submit the thing. I actually don't know when it's due. It's probably due already. See how I just clicked it? I should just, boom. I believe that is already due. When is it due? Oh, I don't think it's okay. Maybe when do you file? Nope. How do you complete the return? Incomplete. Da, 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 da. Before it was showing that you had to submit it by like February and stuff. Hmm, that's very interesting. I don't see where that one due date. Due date? I'll say that. Hmm. Interesting. Maybe because of the previous years, they already but no, that doesn't make sense because you'd have to do it every year. So I would say, um, you had till April 30th to disclose that, right? Oh, there it is, City of Toronto. Ah, there it is. Bop, 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 bop. There we have it, folks. Okay, so this is the one. This is for the folks that are living in a house. The vacant home tax, you have to, yeah. See, I already said it. April 30th, you have. And how do you do it? Submit. And then you just say proceed. Boom, bam, bam. Don't say anything. Help yourself. So this is actually easier for City of Toronto folks. So you have to look at the blue, and if you're colorblind, I'm sorry, sometimes it's green. So look for the City of Toronto tax bill. You have the assessment roll number. Roll. Oh my god, I thought I said it wrong. Roll number. So you put it here. You put other information, right? You put the address and all that good stuff. And once you've said all the information, you have till April 30th. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. Oh my God, Camille, I didn't know. Yes, you did. I told you. Right? So I told you what to do, right? So let's see. What do we have there? Oh, hold on. I see a comment. What up? What up? What up? Mr. Nanu, Dundara. Farmer. Yeah, we need to chat afterwards. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to do is just help you guys um build build your financial future or your financial peace by actually taking, instead of looking at like big moves, just small consistent paddles. See what I did there? Small consistent paddles will help you get through this more than you'll ever know, right? So whether you're self-employed, whether you're a senior that has been experiencing these annoying um large quantities of money, I would say 15 to 25% put into the installment, and you'll be able to now experience either a lesser balance owing or a refund back where you can, feel nice and things. But at the same time, if you feel like it's too much of a refund happening, lower the amount of contribution or payment that you're doing, installment payments, and then think of other ways to put that money. Remember, you still have your TFSA, you still have your RSP, and you still have your FHSA. That word is a tongue twist, can't say it properly yet. But yeah, this is where we're at. Please do the poll. Also, anyone that has not messaged me, please message me. Kindly, again, if you wait till April 25th to come do your taxes, I'm charging you extra because I reminded you since February. So be kind to yourself, be kind to me. Oh, actually, I forgot. It's that time of the year. It is that time of the year. Buy me a coffee, bruh. I'm joking. Oh, I'm not joking. Buy me a coffee. Buy a matcha latte. Big up to people that give you matcha lattes. Yay! And yeah. Man, I don't actually. Okay, so next week is Easter. I do not know how I'm going to be because it's the 5th anniversary for my mom. I am hoping and praying that I am in a good headspace to provide you guys something. If I am not in a good headspace, I will do something in between early so I can still give you guys something next week. I wonder if I should do something I wonder if I should call it bun and cheese. We'll think about that. I'll think about that and stuff. Or if there's anything that you guys been meaning to hear, I do have some guests coming. It's gonna be fire for April. Yes, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be tired. Coffee, 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 or water and water. You know, I gotta stay hydrated and everything, right? However, make sure, oh gosh, you like, comment, do the poll. The poll's not done yet. Do the poll. Subscribe. Whoop. Wow. Subscribe. And oh, you're lucky. You're lucky. What is this? What is this? The only podcast where I feel like playing dance hall after listening. By the okay, do not bash matcha. Okay? Do not bash it. Put the model on. I'd like to ask questions. OMG. I'm the model. What do you mean? Also, again, guys, I'm selling this. No, Nanu, I'm not shipping it to you. I am selling it. Yeah, you guys know I don't like apples. Well, until next time, folks. Peace and love. Ah, ah, ah.
I just wanna be free with my people to prosper and hold it down. Don't you sit and wait, contemplating on a revolution. The time is now. I just wanna be free.